Hi there and welcome to Transcona Trailer Sales. Today we'll be walking you through your 2022 Forest River 2441 MHB. We're just going to start off at the back of the unit. If you notice right down below there, you do have 7-pin wiring as well as a 2-inch receiver back there. And located inside this back bumper, you're just pulling that cap off. You're going to find that sewer hose. Once fully extended, it is about 15 feet long. Just take a note of those 2 ears there. Those are going to be the same 2 ears that hook up to your sewer system, which I'll show you in a minute. We just keep this stored away in the back bumper just to keep some of the stench out of the unit. Inside this compartment here, if you open that up, that's where you're going to find your starter pack. In the starter pack, you're going to have your 15-foot water hose, some extra toilet paper and other goods, as well as a 15-amp park adapter, which does go on the end of this 30-amp plug-in. It is just a standard 30-amp plug-in. The cord runs inside this compartment here through this hole in the floor, and you plug it into this guy here. Once plugged in, you have 30-amp power. Let's say you're at home and you want to run the fridge. We do include a 15-amp park adapter. Just keep it in mind when you're going down to 15 amps of power, you can't run something like your air conditioner. Really, it's just to be running your lights and your fridge. Right here, you're going to notice is your fresh water fill. That's to fill your fresh water tank, and that's what your water pump draws off of. Right down below that, if you're at a site with service, you have that city water connection. Thread a garden hose in there, turn it on. It's going to pressurize all the lines without you needing to run your water pump. Inside here is just your main sewer outlet. You got your black tank and your gray tank. You're always going to want to empty your black tank first. This is your dirtiest water filled from your toilets, and then you can come behind that with your gray tank, which is typically a little cleaner water filled from your sinks and your showers. You got this cap here. Once you take this cap off, it's going to be the same 2 ears that your sewer hose had, and they just connect on like so, locking onto those tabs. This little guy here is just a black tank flush, so let's say you're noticing an odor or just false monitor panel readings. Thread a garden hose in here with your sewer connected and your black tank open. Very important you do so, or you do run the risk of bursting your tank. Turn on that water and it's just going to spray out the inside of that tank, keeping things that little bit cleaner. You got your gas fill for the coach. In these compartments, it's just some more storage, and inside this compartment here, you just get access again to some more storage as well as those seatbelt bolts. And then inside here, you get to a service panel for your generator. Taking those and twisting them will allow you to pull that panel out of the way, and that'll get you access to your air filter, which you should check regularly, as well as your engine oil. And then you do have a start button inside here, but I will show you how to start it once we get inside the unit. Again, just pushing that in place. Those tabs will lock in. And once locked in, close that up. Whenever you are running this, just keep it in mind your generator is going to be blowing its exhaust fumes through that little tailpipe there. Show you in a minute. You get your hot water service port, twisting that guy, opening this guy up. You get your 1.1/8 drain bolt right down at the below here, so if you want to drain the tank, that's how you do so. Whenever you first get to your campsite, you're always just going to want to give that pressure relief valve a pull. There should be a shot of water that comes out of there. We currently have the tank drained, ready for customer pickup, and that's why there's no water coming out, so it wouldn't be safe to fire up. Down below, again, it's just some more storage, and then you get to your propane little area. Opening that up counterclockwise opens up the flow of propane to the unit. That's pretty much all you're going to have to worry about there. You got your furnace exhaust. Whenever your furnace is running, this is going to be blowing out hot air. Be mindful of that. Inside this compartment, if you open it up, just looks like a normal regular compartment. Then you can reach out back here, twist this guy, open it up, gives you access to your water pump for winterization with that bypass tube. Also inside here is going to be your fresh tank drain, which is that black tube on this side. And then you got your low point drains in the back as well for your hot and your cold lines. You'll see those little silver valves there. Inside that last compartment, again, it's just some more storage and it connects to the other side. Taking a step on inside the unit, you're just grabbing that door handle, pulling it open. Allows you to open up that door. Underneath this one step here, if you open this guy up, it does give you access to those 2 bus batteries. You got a little safety deposit box inside here, right here, and then on the wall here, you got your battery disconnect switch. So with the battery disconnect switch on, which is how it is now, the batteries are connected to the unit. If you were to switch that off, the batteries become disconnected from the unit. Got a couple light switches here that does a porch light outside the door. You got your awning switch light, and then you have a little entry light as well. And then you do have your awning button. The awning button's unfortunately labeled wrong, so if you push the track, the awning starts making its way out. Once fully extended, you're going to see the back of the metal tube and you're going to flap and come down. They are pretty tight for space here, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that flap in the metal tube come down, but we'll be able to get it close. So there you go, you're seeing that little flap starting to come down. You know you're fully extended. Now you can take any arm, front, or rear, and just pull down on it if it were to start raining. It's going to change the pitch of the awning head, allowing water to then run off. Now if you like that angle better, you can do the same thing with the front arm. It's going to allow for more shade underneath, so always making sure you do push those arms back to straight before you bring your awning in. Whenever you're bringing your awning in, just making sure that the fabric rolls the right way in, and you're always going to want to make sure you bring that awning in whenever the winds start picking up a little bit. That way you don't run the risk of bending your arms or ripping your fabric. If you ever do bring in that awning when it's wet, always making sure you bring it back out so it can dry out. That way it doesn't exceed the growth of mold. And there you go. Once those arms contact the side of the trailer, you're going to pull it in. Last thing on this little wall here, you do have they call it a solar controller. Really, it is just a monitor panel system. It'll just tell you what your batteries are charging at, what their current status is, their temperature, their amperage, their amp hours, and all that good stuff. Taking a step on inside. First thing you notice on that side of the doorway there, you got your stairs so you can get up to your bunk. Then you also have that fire extinguisher, which is just like home. Pull the pin and shoot. You also have some light switches up on the wall here where your monitor panel system is, as well as you got a driver's side rear light that turns on a light right above your sewer outlet. So in case you were dumping at night, you can see that. You got a voltmeter right here. It'll tell you what your batteries are currently at. Then you got your electric and your gas water heater buttons. Hitting that gas water heater button, the water heater is going to try lighting itself 3 times. If on the 3rd try it doesn't light, this fault light's going to come on. In that case, you do just have to turn this switch off, wait about 10 seconds, and then you can turn it back on, and it'll try relighting itself. You got your water pump switch, which draws from your fresh tank. And then you got your Arctic Pack, which is essentially just little heaters that stick onto the bottom of your tanks for that extended camping season. But unfortunately, with our Manitoba winters, you won't be able to really do much camping. The Arctic Pack's really only good for about -5, not much more than that. To get your generator to run, you're just hitting that stop/prime button, pushing it and holding it for about 5 to 10 seconds so it allows that carburetor to prime with fuel. And then just push up on that start button and the generator does fire right on up. To get it to shut down, you're just hitting that stop/prime button and it shuts it down. You got your monitor panel system. Pushing the button just illuminates where the system's currently at. And then last but not least, you do have your slide out button. But to get that slide out to run, you do have to get into the cab here. Take your key, put it in the ignition, turn it to the run, making sure you have your parking brakes set. Hit that slide out button. The slide will start making its way out. Unfortunately, we're a little pressed for space, so we won't be able to get it to fully extend, but you'll know you're fully extended when you hear the motor cut out. So there you go, you're fully extended there. And then this last bunk, the switch is just on the wall. Hitting that button out, the slide out starts making its way out. Again, it works the same way as the front one. Once fully extended, you're just gonna hear those motors stop. One thing to note, when you do go to bring it in, you'll notice this mattress is kind of like a wedge, so the wedge will slide into place once the slide out's fully extended. and it will form a flat mattress. But before you do go to run that slide out back in, just pull this back up yourself. That way you're not putting any extra stress on your slide out system. Turn that keypad off. In your living space, you do got some storage on this side here where your garbage disposal is. You got a nice little cap up top. It's got a wireless phone charging system. You get this little fold out tray, which works just by flipping those spring-loaded things up, and it locks into place. And then to get it to go down, you're just unlocking those spring things and bringing them right down, and it'll allow that to fold back down. You got your kitchen space, which has hot and cold water at the sink, storage all around. You get to your propane stove. The way that works is you're just turning those knobs over the light, hitting the sparker, and it fires right on up. You do have lots of underway lighting here just by hitting those switches. Some storage up top. In the dinette area, you do have the option to throw this into a bed. You're just having to loosen this knob up, pull this leg out of its foot, sit the table inside the ledge here, and take your back cushions to fill in the center, and you'll have a bed. You got seat belts inside here so you can have passengers while driving. All the blinds in the unit do work the same way. They just kind of sit where you leave them, and then one quick pull will allow them to come up. Right here, you push this button, flap, and it comes down. You got your main breaker and fuse panel area. Whenever a breaker trips, it's going to sit in the middle, so you do just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it. And you got all your fuses down below. Some storage underneath the bed here. You got couple charging options there. Both the furnace and the stove run off propane. You got your LP detector right here. If this guy ever starts going off, you are just going to want to turn off that main supply of propane and just open up some windows and turn on some vents. That way it allows it to evacuate those fumes out. Speaking about that, we do got our vent up top here. Works pretty simple. You're pushing that up to lock it, pushing it down, pulling it down to unlock it. Twisting that knob will allow that vent to open on up. And then you do just have the power switch right in the corner there. It's always going to go to the lowest setting first. Pushing it 3 more times will bring it to its highest setting. Off to bring it back down, and then just lower it down. Twisting that the opposite way will lock it into place, and pushing it up really locks it down. You got your Magic Chef fridge, which does have a travel latch, always making sure that that's latched when you're traveling. That way it doesn't fling open and cause any damage. You got temperature control up top for the freezer. And right down below, you do have the temperature controls for the fridge as well. And if you read there, it does say on and off. You just got to hold that button for 5 seconds to turn it on or off. And just changing the settings is just a tap. And again, just holding that for 10 seconds will turn it off. Inside here, you do have some closet space, a little hanger for. You got some light switches on the wall here. You got your thermostat right here. Pushing that button will turn the thermostat on. It's going to bring you to your last setting, which we did have the air conditioner on. At any point in time, just pushing this button up or down will take the temperature up or down. You change the fan setting with it on auto. It's going to decide what to do based on the temperature that's set to the thermostat. So it'll either kick air conditioning on or off, or change the fan settings. Pushing that button one more time will bring it to dry. Now that's going to try and run the air conditioner to take as much humidity out of the air as possible. One more time, you're going to get into heat. That's going to fire up the furnace, which moves all its air through the floor portals you see we have around the unit. And then you just get to fan, which is just going to move air around with that air conditioner. Push the button one more time, just turns it off. Whenever you are running the air conditioner, you got a couple different options. You can run it with these louvers open, in which case it's going to dump all its air into this main living space. Or you can close those louvers and it will move all its air through the ceiling ducting we have throughout the unit. Again, take a note of this door here. It does have a travel latch. That way it doesn't go anywhere while you're traveling. Right here, you do have a TV backer. So if you were to want to mount a TV in here, you can do so. You got a 12-volt plug-in or a 120. Stepping inside the bathroom, again, you do have another overhead fan. Works the same way, but the switch to turn it on and off is just on the wall. There is another one here too as well if you'd like to use that one. You got your shower with hot and cold water, medicine cabinet, sink with hot and cold water. Then you just got your main GFI plug right down here. You got reset in the middle, test on the bottom. If you ever have an outlet that doesn't work, this would be the first place I'd check. Toilet down in the corner there, as well as some storage space on the wall. That's going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.